All have been introduced. Ms. Cheryl McKinley, wife of General Craig McKinley. The Commanding General of the 34th Infantry Division, Major General David Elisario. Senator Mike Perry and State Representative Patty Fritz. The Rice County Commissioners. The Faribault City Council. Please give a round of applause to those people. Also in our audience today, we are honored to have a very, very special Faribault resident, Betty Strophus. Betty, would you stand? Mrs. Strophus was a World War II pilot. She is one of the pioneers who led the way for female service members. Ms. Strophus is a role model to all those who know her. Thank you for being here today. Mayor John Jasinski is a graduate of Faribault Senior High School and earned his bachelor's degree in business administration from Mankato State University. He joined the United States Navy and deployed twice to the Persian Gulf. Mayor Jasinski was awarded the Navy Achievement Medal for his superior performance while acting as the USS Shattuck-St primary air controller. He was elected mayor of Faribault in 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the mayor of Faribault, John Jasinski.
Thank you. On behalf of the City of Faribault, I would like to welcome everyone here to Faribault. It is a true honor to be up here on stage today, not only as the mayor of Faribault, representing our great community, but as a veteran of the United States Navy. Today we have an exceptional group of distinguished guests joining us for our Beyond the Yellow Ribbon ceremony. One, from what I understand, is the most high-ranking from both a military level as well as from the government representation we have here on stage. More than any other Beyond the Yellow Ribbon ceremony in the state of Minnesota. Thank you all for coming to Faribault today, and a special thank you to Shattuck-St. Mary's for hosting our event. I'll try and keep my comments brief. I know Secretary of State knows sometimes I get a little long-winded in certain speeches, so I'll try and keep to the script here. The military holds a very special place in my life. I can honestly say, if it wasn't for my 4 years in the military in the United States Navy, I would never be standing here in front of you as the mayor of Faribault. It was truly a life-changing event for me and was one that was the best decision I ever made. The experiences, camaraderie, and the leadership training I was able to learn was unmatched. Next, I'd like to give a brief history of how we got here today. Almost 2 years ago, when I received my first call from Linda Schlickebeer, who's over here on the left, from the 34th ID Command, asking if I was interested in the city of Faribault would be interested in becoming a Beyond the Yellow Ribbon community. And obviously, I was very, very receptive to that idea. Shortly after that conversation, I asked the City Council if they were interested in supporting this program here in Faribault. After a brief description of the program, they were very supportive of this effort. I would like to thank the full council, as well as our city staff, for the support in bringing the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program a reality here in Faribault. I'd like the council and the city staff to please stand. Again, sorry. Round of applause. Thank you. Moving ahead several months, we had our first preliminary meeting to discuss the program with military officials and staff. Our discussions moved from finding volunteers to get involved with the program and establishing a steering committee, as well as finding a strong chairman of the committee. Being a lifelong resident of Faribault, it seemed relatively simple to put some names together that would be logical for this committee. Within a few minutes, I thought of Shattuck, which was once a military academy here in town, and now one of the most highly respected private schools in the nation. I then suggested our city administrator contact Nick Stoneman, the headmaster of Shattuck-St. Mary's, to see if he would be interested in serving on the steering committee. A few months later, after our first substantial meeting, I had a brief conversation with Nick, where he was very supportive of how great this program was and what it meant for Faribault. At that same meeting, he immediately informed me that he thought he might have a good candidate for the chair of the steering committee. Shortly after that, Nick volunteered himself for this position. Thank you, Nick. Not only did Nick volunteer, he brought an entire staff and support team from Shattuck-St. Mary's School to help us with our effort. Next in place was our co-chair, Jackie Smith, the managing editor at the Faribault Daily News. Between Nick and Jackie, we had a great leadership team, and we were successful in putting together a strong steering committee. I'd like the entire steering committee to stand, please, and Nick and Jackie, and give them a round of applause. Thank you. As you will hear today, the Beyond the Yellow program is a simple but comprehensive program that creates awareness for the purpose of connecting service members, their families, with our community support, training, services, and resources. Faribault always has been a community of strong and dedicated people who have volunteered to help others. Engaging in the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program shows our community support and eases the burden for our local military families. I support this idea and will build a much stronger community and one that is full of more compassion. I would like to thank our servicemen and women for their families and honor the sacrifices you make for our freedom. This freedom is what makes our country the strongest nation in the world. Please give our military a round of applause. In closing, I will end with a quote from George W. Bush. America's strength is not its government. America's strength is its people. We become a stronger nation when our citizens use their talents to help the neighbor in need and improve their communities. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for working to make Faribault a Beyond the Yellow Ribbon community.
Thank you, Mayor Jasinski. Major General Richard Nash is the current Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, having been appointed to that position by the Governor in 2010. Major General Nash has previously served as Commanding General of both U.S. Army and multinational forces, including the U.S. Army's 34th Infantry Division, the Multinational Division South during Operation Iraqi Freedom, and the Multinational Brigade North in Bosnia during Operation Joint Forge. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adjutant General for the state of Minnesota, Major General Richard Nash.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. Our senior but youthful Senator Klobuchar, Senator Franken, Secretary of State Ritchie. Also, Secretary of State Ritchie is also a member of my Strategic Advisory Task Force, a true friend.